We went in, and ironically enough, the table next to ours was 50 Cent. And in the back there was Kanye West, Beyonce. I had 50 Cent pass me a bottle of vodka and stuff. Yeah, it was crazy. Absolutely mental.
Hello, Matt. Pleasure to meet you.
And you? Okay, first question. How much money did you win on the lottery?
I won 6.1 million.
Jesus.
I'm a trained engineer, but I was made redundant, and I was working as a bus driver in North Staff, South Cheshire.
I remember this story on the news.
That's right,
Yeah.
yes. How about you?
Just a mil for me. My headspace at that point was really difficult. I mean, I was in a flat I couldn't afford by myself, on a single wage. I was in a job that I'd started 3 weeks before that I absolutely hated and was contemplating leaving, living for every weekend, going out every weekend. I had about 20 grand's worth of visa debt. I was going to move back in with my dad.
Tell us about the night when you won.
I was meant to have dinner with my brother and some friends. My brother and our other mate decided to bin it and go on a date, so it left me with my one friend. He basically wanted to go get some food, so we went to Morrison's across the road, and I was bored to the back teeth of him picking different steaks up, deciding what steak he wanted. So I thought, right, I'm going to wait outside before I slap him around the head with a steak. And at that point, I walked past the kiosk, bought my lucky dip ticket, and then we left. Watched Chelsea-Napoli, great game 4-4. 4 in the morning, I was getting ready for a night shift the following day, trying not to fall asleep, and I thought, what can I do? I'll check my lottery ticket. So was checking it on my phone, pitch black, didn't win, scrunched it up, put it to the side. Still on my phone, it started flashing for some reason, saying, remember to check your raffle tickets. So I obviously unscrumpled the ticket, looked, there was a raffle thing at the bottom, put the number in, it said, congratulations, you won £1 million. So that was it. I always think it would never happen to me, and now it has happened to me. I think I'd never do it again, but then again, I know people that have won twice, so maybe I should. What about yourself?
So did you literally, was that the first time you played when you won?
Yeah.
Goodness me.
On a lucky dip, yeah.
I've been playing for, well, since it first started.
Obviously, you probably had the same. You don't believe ever that this thing's happened to you. So I tried ringing my brother, my mum, my dad. No one would pick up because it was so early in the morning. But because my friends were all out in Bali, I FaceTimed them. They were all around the pool, sun shining. So there was me in a pitch black flat with my ticket one side, my face the other. They were checking the numbers for me, obviously realised I won. All started diving in the pool, started ordering champagne. They started upgrading their hotel rooms. So by the time I got to Bali, I had this bill to pay that I hadn't even contributed towards. What about yourself?
I can always remember looking at the first two numbers, thinking, yes, I've got that one. And I thought, oh, we're in for a few quid here. Fifth number, wow, this is a couple of grand. And then the sixth number tallied. So I went running out of the study into the living room. I ran in saying, I've won the lottery. And my wife turned round to me and she said, what have you won, £10? And I said, no, I've won the lot. And she said, what do you mean you've won the lot? I said, I've won the jackpot. I asked my wife to ring up on my behalf at 9 a.m. when the Camelot office opened. In the meantime, I went off to work. A lot of people on that route depended on that bus to get to work in the morning.
So that's really selfless. I would have not done that. Describe a moment when you thought, I'm rich.
Where we lived before I won, they built a brand new Jaguar showroom. And Crewe's quite a working class town. And I always used to think, who on earth can afford to buy Jags from a garage like that?
Yeah,
and then the next thing you know, it's me that's going in there as a customer.
Brilliant.
And ultimately bought an XJ. So
no way, it's amazing. I guess my I'm rich moment was on Valentine's in 2015. I went out to see a friend in America, and he was like, look, let's go to this NBA All-Star weekend party in New York. I think that table on that was about 5,000. We went in, and ironically enough, the table next to ours was 50 Cent. He's a rapper, and in the back there was Kanye West, Beyonce. There was a load of the New England Patriots football team. I had 50 Cent pass me a bottle of vodka and stuff. Yeah, it was crazy, absolutely mental. Have your tastes become more expensive?
I still shop at Aldi.
Yeah, same. It's amazing.
Yes, I now drive a much bigger car. I've got a bigger house. I make sure that from October till February, I go away for 1 week of every month of the winter.
No way.
To make it a very short winter.
Yeah.
And that stops me getting bored.
Where have you just come back from?
Well, we've just been on a trip on the Great Rail journeys through Switzerland on the snow train.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I always wanted to do that.
What about you?
So yeah, going into nightclubs, getting tables, buying clothes that you wouldn't be able to afford. I mean, I bought a tuxedo. The jacket was $2,500. That was in Savile Row. It was a pretty woman moment for me, actually. I went in tracksuit, went into one shop, and they kind of ushered me out. Hey, you shouldn't be in here. Went across the road, bought this really expensive tuxedo. Walked out with it on my back and waving at the guys I walked past. So yeah, my tastes now have subsided a little bit, but I do love the better things in life, if you like, purely because I probably didn't have them growing up. It's a life I wanted to experience. 2 years I didn't work, and I was going from place to place, seeing all parts of the world, and I didn't really concentrate on my bank balance, stupidly. So once you start checking it and then you realise actually this isn't going to last forever, my mum basically dished out this royal bollocking and said, you need to stop spending money like it's water, because no one wants to be the sob story, if you like. So I've made every effort to not become that person, and I feel like it's working out so far. And now I know I'm worth more than what I actually won. So
how did winning the lottery impact on your relationships?
My friends all became very close. It was almost as though if you weren't a friend before, you couldn't be a friend after. So I don't know how it felt for you, but it instantly felt like a weight had lifted. I became more confident as a person. Not that I lack confidence at all, but I found myself feeling like invincible, paying off all my family's debts, which is an incredible feeling. Because I was in a better mental state, I started speaking to my parents nicer, I started to treat my friends nicer, and things like that. So yeah, I guess it made me, I consider myself a better person. What about you?
It gives me time to be with my family. I can look after my grandson now and help out the rest of the family.
Yeah.
So the one key thing that it's given me is time, and that's so precious to me. There's one thing I do miss, and that is the camaraderie of work colleagues.
Of course.
I do miss that. I do miss the chat, because you don't see as many people as you used to see.
Yeah.
Obviously, you become slightly isolated, I think, in some ways.
Yeah, I agree.
Overall, I'd say that I have less friends now, but different types of friends.
Yeah, of course. I don't know if you're on social media or anything like that, but because of social media, I mean, I was getting inboxes, letters daily, pretty much, for the first 18 months, maybe. I didn't want to say no, but you kind of have to be good about it. You can't just say, bugger off, who do you think you're talking to, etc. So unfortunately, I can't help. If I helped everyone that asked, I actually wouldn't have any money left, because it did really get that bad. Luckily, it's died down now 5 years later, but I'd say I'd still probably get at least one a month.
I found it contrary to that. I found that when I was going around Crewe, people that saw me and recognised me, even people that I didn't know, were like tooting car horns and putting their thumbs up and things like that, which quite surprised me, because a lot of people that I did know were saying, oh, you'll be getting begging letters here, you'll be getting please for this, please for that, and it never happened. Do you think winning the lottery's changed you?
What it did was almost amplify my personality. So, I mean, I like to think I was a generous guy before. So if anything, it made me more generous. And I've always been a confident lad. It made me more confident. I've probably always been the loudest in the room, and now I sound like a foghorn. So if anything, like I said, it's made me bigger and better, but I wouldn't say it's changed me. What about you?
Quite a few people I've met that I used to work with and that I knew socially, that's the first thing they say, it hasn't changed you. And my immediate response is, well, why should it? Because at the end of the day, it's money.
Yeah, of course. At that point in time, it really changed my life, and since then I've met the person that I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. I've got 2 beautiful children, and I own my own house. I never thought that was going to be achievable. You know, when you look at the bank balance and it's minus 20 grand, and you don't have your own car and you don't have your own house and stuff like that, it's really difficult. If I could jump out of bed with both hands in the air every day, I would, but you start to feel a bit of a knob.
The main thing that the money has been able to do is give me time to enjoy the things that I enjoyed doing before that I wasn't always able to do.
I mean, if I could bottle happiness and sell it, I'd be a multi-millionaire now. I mean, I haven't had a sad day since never look at price tag, get to go where I want, when I want. You know, being able to ring your boss and quit work was one of the best conversations I've ever had on the phone. So yeah, I'm beyond happy, I guess.
Well,
Pleasure to meet
Matt,
you.
it's been nice meeting you.
Great chat.
Yeah, same here, and long may your happiness continue.
And to you.
Thank you.
The most dangerous thing I have ever done is going into combat. But the most safest thing I've ever done is strange. But you're in control, you know, you've got your weapon, you've got the boys behind you, you're the aggressor. It's a different type of control.